We're going to do the collision of objects over two videos. In this first video we're going to get rid of our bouncing ball from the last one and put a bat that moves along the bottom of the screen. And there are some important things to learn in that video. And in the next video we'll have a bouncing ball which we're going to hit with our bat. Something similar to a breakout game but with no bricks at this stage. Okay, so this is the program from the previous video, and I want to get rid of the moving ball and I want to put a bat on there that's going to be at the bottom of the screen that we can control with the keyboard. And in the next video we'll actually bring the ball back and make it bounce off the bat. So I want to get rid of anything to do with the Y direction because our bat's going to be stuck on the bottom of the screen. Initially I don't want my bat moving, so I'm going to give it a velocity of 0. I'm not going to use all these colours, but I'll keep them there. We certainly want set the frame rate, and I'm going to change the title of this to collision. And let's go back to here. I want it so that we're dealing with a bat. Our bat is going to be a rectangle. We want to print it onto our display. I want it to be red. We certainly want that X position. Remember, we're going to put in a rectangle here. So I want to put in that X position. I want to make this 280, which looks like it's just off the bottom, but you'll see what happens just now. I want to make the bat 80 long, and I want to make it 20 high, and obviously that 280 plus the 20 makes 300, and obviously this isn't a circle so I don't need those. I'll make it start at 210 so the bat's in the middle, because obviously it's 80 wide, which makes it 40 halfway. 40 plus the 210 makes 250, which puts it in the middle. Let's get rid of this and we'll sort that all out later. So what we're going to do, we're going to check to see if we're pressing down the left arrow key or the right arrow key to see how we move. And we're going to use this velocity idea, that basically means it has been pressed, can you move it by a certain way? Because I don't want it, so I've got to keep on pressing the key over and over again. So we've checked for type quit, so let's do if event dot type compares to a key down, then whoops, I don't want to do that. Key down, I want to now check to see which key I've actually pressed. So we're going to say if event dot key is going to be key left. And what I want to do is I want to make it the velocity, the velocity, I want to make that equal to -5. Else if the event dot type, sorry, not event dot type, event dot key is key right, then I want to change the X velocity to +5. Okay, so we've checked for key down, but obviously we're going to lift our keys and I'll take our fingers off those keys as well. And we want it that when we take our fingers off the keys that the velocity stops altogether. So I'm going to say if event dot type equals, sorry, compares to key up. Make sure we use that one there, not the key underscore K underscore up, that's the up arrow. Then if it forms the key up, then we want to say, well, let's check which keys have been pressed. So if event dot key, if event dot key equals the right key, or event dot key equals the left one, then I want the velocity to equal 0. So the next thing I want to do is actually do the bit where we update the position. And I only want the key to move it to the left if it's still on the screen and it is moving left, and I want to move it to the right if it's on the screen and it's moving to the right. So we're going to say, well look, if the X position is greater than or equal to 0 and the X velocity is less than 0, then I want to update the X position, X position with the X velocity. If the X position is less than or equal to 420, obviously we've got to take in the screen width and the bat width, and X velocity is greater than 0, so that means we've got it moving to the right, then I want to update the X position in that situation as well. Now I could have done that, of course, with a big OR, but I didn't want to. Doesn't really matter though. And I've got that on there, and that should be everything that's required. Let's run that program. There we go, we've got that, and I press the arrow, it goes side, doesn't go any further, I'm still pressing, move the other way, and it goes back. I hope that you found this video helpful. There's a link to the code in the description below. Stay in infield with Winfield.